channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create a web layout using JavaScript and CSS for your web application. I feel creating the layout or the frame for a web application is the first step and also the important part, and sometimes could also be the difficult part, because once you have the frame or the layout defined, then adding functionality for it is easy. What you have in front of me, what I'm showing here is a layout that I have created using plain JavaScript. The look and feel of the layout may look a little old to you, or old style, like 10 years back or so, when there were no modern JavaScript libraries like Bootstrap. Everything used to be designed using vanilla JavaScript and CSS. So we'll start with a vanilla JavaScript and CSS layout. It's okay if it looks a little old, but nevertheless, it will still give you an idea how to use JavaScript and CSS to create a layout. You can think of this as a fundamental step. So what you're seeing over here is a web layout which has three sections. The top header section is where I have the header, for example, here display YouTube channel library. In the left hand side, right hand side, you can see some of the settings like the username, account, settings, etc. And then we have a nav panel on the left side. So because I'm creating a layout for YouTube channel library, so I have four different types of nav. The first one is travel videos, and if you click on that nav, you can see that particular nav that you have selected becomes bold, just to highlight that's the one in context. And then there are sub menus over here, and if you click on the sub menu in the nav, you can see the content section shows that information. So if I click on road trips, in the content section we can see road trips. Similarly, if I click on the another menu in the nav, food videos, so you can see the food videos is in the context, it is highlighted. And then if I click on the menu, the appropriate item loads on the content. So yeah, pretty much this is the simple layout, and I will walk you through how I have created this using JavaScript. And for development, I'm using Visual Studio Code. Most of you should be familiar with Visual Studio Code tool. It's a very popular development editor available on internet for free. Those who do not have this tool available, you can go to Google, search for Visual Studio Code. You can find this link, and from here you have option to download it. Now it's available for Mac OS, Windows, and also Linux. I'm using Mac, so I have installed it for Mac. Once you have it installed, you can launch the tool. The other thing that we need is a live server. So because this is a web application and the web application needs to be hosted on a server, we need a local server. So Visual Studio provides you with a bunch of extensions. So if you see here, this tab over here is an extension tab. So you can come to this tab and find for lots of extensions. The extension we are interested here is a live server. So I'm going to type in live server, and then I can see this option over here. So if I click live server, I can see the button here for installing the live server. Now I see uninstall because I already have it installed, but the moment you search for live server, and if you do not have it installed on your PC, you will be seeing an install button. Click on that and have it installed. And what you will also notice is once you have this installed, then what you will notice is at the bottom here, you will notice a go live button. You see here, coding now. So first thing we will do is we'll open a new Visual Studio Code window, as you can see over here, and then we will go to File and click on open folder. Now what we will do here is we will navigate to the folder where we want to create our project. So I navigate to the folder and then click a new folder and name the folder as my app. So basically the app we are creating will be called as my app. Then I click on the create button. Then you can see the my app folder is created. And I click on the open button, and you can see in the Visual Studio Code the my app folder is loaded over here, but at this time it's an empty folder. So what we will do, we will need to create a new file over here. So you see the plus icon, so I click on the plus icon and it gives us as an option to create a file. So I name the file as layout, and because we are creating an HTML file, so we'll put the extension HTML and we hit enter. So we see a blank layout.html file is created for us. Let's see by running this project and see what happens. Now, as I said, because this is a web application, this needs to be hosted on a server, and we install live server to host our application. So how do I launch the live server? So if you remember, we see this go live button here. So I click on go live. So with this, it will start opening the port, and it has opened the port and also launched the layout.html that we have created. The app is now launched on the local server. Another way to run the app is by going to the run menu and clicking on run without debugging. What we will notice here is Visual Studio Code is suggesting to launch this app on Chrome. Now what we will see is when we select this option, Visual Studio Code is going to create a configuration file. Let's understand this configuration file. So the configuration file is launch.json. Basically, Visual Studio Code is going to use this configuration to run the web application on the local server. Now, if we see, the configuration has an attribute by name type, and the value is Chrome, which indicates to launch the app on the Chrome browser. It has an attribute called request, which has a value of launch, indicating launch the my app. And then it has a name attribute. It is just any name. We can modify this to say launch my app on Chrome against localhost or local server. And then it has a URL. This is the URL that will be launched on the browser. And then we have the web root as workspace folder. The workspace folder here is the my app folder. Now that this launch configuration is created, let's try to run the application. So when we run the application, what we will see is a browser is open with localhost 8080. Now, but this is not the live server address that we have launched. The local server address that we have launched is 127.0.0.1, and the port is 5501 that we see here at the bottom, right? So now if I change it, now we can see it is able to identify the layout.html. So what we will do is we will go here, and in the URL of the launch.json, we are going to change the URL. So now the URL is the local server address. 127.0.0.1 is the local server address. 5501 is a port on which it has been opened on. And then we also want to add layout.html to the URL so that anytime this is launched, it always open the layout.html page. So what we will do now is we will stop the debugging first. And once we have stopped the debugging, let's try to run again. So what we will see now, basically it has read the configuration from the launch.json. It has launched the browser as shown over here, the Chrome browser, and it has redirected to the URL that we have specified here, layout.html. Alright, so let's go to the layout.html. Now in the layout.html, it is a blank HTML page. That's why we see blank on the browser. Let's try to add a word, hello world. So now if we go to the browser and refresh, we will see hello world printed over here. Yeah, but we are not here to type in hello world in the layout.html page. We are here to create a layout. So basically, to create the layout, we have to use HTML markup. So what do? We start with doctype equals doctype HTML tag. Now what this means is, this says that this document is of type HTML. Now every HTML document needs to be wrapped inside HTML tag. So we create the HTML tag, and then every HTML document primarily consists of two basic things. The first one is head, which means header of the HTML page, and then it has a body. So we create two tags, head and the body. Now if we go back to the page and refresh, we would not see anything. We just because we just have the HTML markup, and hello world is gone because we do not have hello world anywhere over here. Now let's say in the head we type in my app, and let's see what happens. Now if I go and refresh over here, I can see my app because in the head I have written my app. Now what we want to do is, on this here, on the title of the page, we do not want to see the URL of the page. Rather, we want to see the title as my app. So what we will do is, in the head, we are going to add a title attribute, and then we wrap this my app inside the title attribute. Now what you will see is the title on the browser, it is showing us my app. Now the next part is body. So let's see, if we try to put hello world, in the body, we can see hello world is being displayed over here.